are now listening to the Dad Rules Podcast with your hosts, Mario E. and Kid.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Dad Rules Podcast, where we help you dad better. I'm one of your hosts, Mario E. and Kid. What's going on?
Not much, man. Glad to be on the podcast again. What you got for us today?
All right. So today's topic, we're talking about a leopard can't change its spots. So the basic question, do people really change? Kid, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I think I would be out of order to say that people don't change. I do feel like people do change. But I'm going to say this. In order for somebody to change, they have to want to change.
Okay.
And all of us get to that process or go through that process of change in different ways. Some people, I feel like your number one thing is that, well, I'll say one way is that if you're inspired. I think you can be spiritually inspired. I think you can be inspired by a mentor, a friend, or you can be inspired by, and the one that I really love the most is being inspired by your wife. When women are inspirational, they have an interesting way of inspiring men to do things that they wouldn't normally do. I've seen men that were going forth in life just doing the best that they could, and when they got to the right woman or got with the right woman, that they became doctors. But that never was a goal before. I've actually seen that happen. It's not that it wasn't in them, but a woman was able to bring that out of them. So I take a lot of value in that. I feel like also change comes from death, from maybe a person that they were highly influenced from, that can bring about change when you lose that person, somebody that you love. I feel like that children being born, life can bring about change. I mean, you hear all the time where fathers were one way before their children were born, and then when that child was born, they realized that it's not about me anymore. And they've really started being industrious and really trying to do for their child and trying to provide for their child and try and be the best version of themselves for that child. So yeah, those are the four things that I really feel like that help to bring about change with people. I think one thing that a lot of people, and I think we should advise our children on or our kids on, is that friend, foe, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whoever it is, don't feel like that you got enough in yourself to change that person. And even from the inspirational piece from a wife, I don't think a girlfriend should go in feeling like, hey, I'm going to change this person. I think you should accept that person for who they are and realize that where they're at right now, it could get worse or it could get better. But for the safe bet, let's just say that they're going to either stay the same or get worse. Through the process of relationships, people can get better and they can achieve things out of this world with the motivation of a spouse. But I don't think you should go into it thinking that you're going to be able to change people. Because relationships and love is nothing, it's not about it's not a build-a-bear workshop. You don't get to put this person together and make them exactly what you want them to be. So
I'm glad you clarified that, because I was getting ready to challenge you on a couple things that you had said. Your comment about, the wife and how the wife, you said something about the wife changed the guy to make him want to be a doctor. So you feel like
I didn't say that. So you putting words in my mouth.
Okay. That's how I took it, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
If I said that, I apologize, but I didn't say he changed. I said inspired.
Okay.
And brought that out of him.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because what I'm saying was not saying that he didn't have that in him to begin with.
Okay.
I'm just saying that was not a goal. Well, that might have not been a goal of his. And I don't think he felt like he could achieve that at that moment.
Okay.
But after getting with a good support system and somebody that could really bring you up, that happened in that process.
Okay.
But I went forth saying, hey, don't go around trying to find this person. Hey, I'm going to make you a doctor today.
Okay. My mistake. That's how I took it with what you said, because I was writing it down. And so I was kind of like, whoa.
Did I say change? Did I say he changed? Did she change her?
You started off, you were talking about inspiring, yes. But then when you got down to the wife piece, then you talked about, you probably did say inspiring to be a doctor. But yeah, so some of the same things you just said, yes. I just wanted to clarify that, because I was kind of like, I don't know if I don't know.
That's what you're trying to do.
No, nothing like that. So yeah, so do I think people change? I think it starts by what you said. People change if they want to.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to, you're gonna get the same person every single time. That's the way I look at it. I think, I don't think people really do a lot of changing. I think people mature, I think people become inspired to do other things and to do more. But, little quirks and habits that you have and things like that, I think is the same. I do. I think people generally are the same. I know I've seen things where people have taken personality tests, right? And their personality test results at 10 are the same when they were 40, And so I think people generally, who you are is kind of like who you are. Yeah, you learn new things or whatever and stuff. But I don't consider that necessarily change. You grow up, you learn new things. But if someone wants to change something about themselves, then yes, they will make a change. So that's the way I kind of look at that. I look at, people, if you want to change, you'll change. If you don't, you will stay the same. That's the way I look at that.
Yeah, but I see like a lot of people. Have you ever seen people that got together, right? And then one is like, I don't want to do this anymore. They're unmotivated and they don't want to do this or they don't want to do that. Or, I'm just tired of them being the way they are. And I'm like, that's who they were when you met them. You changed. And I've seen a lot of times the person that's leaving out of the relationship, I'm like, you are the one that changed. This person stayed the same. You just got tired of it. You thought that they were going to evolve. You thought that they were going to do this or do that. And like I said, when I name those things that help people change, sometimes it has an effect on some people. Sometimes it doesn't have any effect whatsoever. No matter if a child is born or not, they're still unmotivated. So to put these into the equation thinking that that's going to help them change, that is not smart at all.
Yeah.
Well, maybe after we had a baby, he'll change and he'll be more responsible. No.
Yeah. I think that's more of when I'm talking about when I say people don't really change, I look at it in terms of, are you going in trying to change someone? And that to me, from that standpoint, no, you're not going to be able to change someone. Someone is going to be who they're going to be, right? And who they typically are. I think that's the most important thing you said. Don't go into any type of relationship thinking you're going to change that relationship or you're going to change that person to make them be better than what they are or a different person. Yeah, I mean, yeah, do people change certain things? Yeah, somebody might like fried chicken in their 20s, but they grow older, they like baked chicken. I mean, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You change, or you got inspired to do something different or whatever. Yeah, that's a little bit different. But I'm talking about just like the basics, some of the basic things. I don't think people do it unless they really want to. And I think about too, it's I heard someone say it like this, we talk sometimes, about I'm getting ready to do something, I'm gonna turn it to the beast. I'm gonna go beast mode on them, and I think that's kind of funny because I heard this guy speaking one time, and he was like, you don't turn into the beast.
Okay.
You're not already the beast. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that ain't already in you, then how do you turn into that when you're not already that?
Yeah.
So maybe some things that we have inside of us are just dormant and it's not there. And what I mean is dormant and it's just not risen. It hasn't risen to the surface.
Yeah.
That may be the case. Like what you were talking about, the lady who inspired the husband or the boyfriend to go to medical school and become a doctor. That was already in him. Right?
Yeah.
That was already in him. She didn't change him and say, "Oh, baby, it'll make me so happy if you become a doctor." And he says, "Well, I'm a plumber. I guess I'll go ahead and be a doctor to make you happy." And he just goes to medical school and he's a doctor now. That doesn't happen.
Because the average guy that's like I said, the average guy that's in a relationship and he's a plumber and she say something like that, he's like, "No, I'm good already. I'm making good money doing this."
Exactly.
Why am I going to do that? Why am I going to switch up just so you can, because that's what you want? No.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say is like this guy, he had it in him the whole time.
Right.
But just to me, knowing them and knowing the situation and, how they met and everything like that, I was like, she had a positive impact on you up there. Because if I had said something to you 10 years ago about doing this, it was a no-go. Man, I ain't going to do that. That's what the conversation would have been. But elevating in all facets of life, I feel like when a woman shows you that, and I got your back, I believe in you, all that stuff can help you become a better person. It's not saying it's going to make you become a doctor or whatever like that, or not to even say that just because you become a doctor, you're a better person.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I feel like women can help us, elevate and go to new heights, because we as men, I feel like it's just in us to want to protect and use our resources to provide whatever we have to provide for our women. We have that same feeling when it comes to our kids. Mm-hmm. Do whatever we got to do. We won't eat and make sure our kids have something to eat. We won't go buy new clothes for us, but make sure our kids are fly on the first day of school. You know what I'm saying? That's the sacrifices and stuff that dads make.
Yeah.
So, all of that is in us. But like I said, women and children, and even getting a second chance at life, you had a near-death experience and you get a second chance at life. All that stuff help push you forward. Sometimes.
Yeah.
It affects everybody differently. We can't look at this and say, this is like the same scenario for every person. It's not. This is not the same scenario for every person. We don't speak in absolutes. But in my experience and what I'm seeing when people have changed, those are the things that I've seen happen. Mm-hmm. It's not that it just happens. Things change, circumstances change, and people change themselves. But they have to be the one to want that change.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, this is one topic that we've done that the more and more I talk about it, I hate to be this way, but I can see it from both sides. I can see in certain situations, yeah, people don't change. And then I can see where, yeah, people do. They can change. Yeah, people can change, And I think if someone kind of comes to you and they say, hey, look, I've changed, then I think it's only right for us to give them another opportunity. If it's a situation where that you got betrayed or whatever, I think it should be a thing where you give them an opportunity to kind of show that they have changed and not just write them off and say, oh, you ain't changed. You haven't done that.
Yeah.
Give them an opportunity to prove that they have. Especially I think about it, just in relationships. I think about it, raising our kids. Kids, we're raising them to be upstanding people, right?
Yeah.
And let's say if you got a child who they lie a lot, and you're trying to get them to not lie,
Yeah.
you have to give them an opportunity to prove, not just always call them a liar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's, you have to give people an opportunity. If someone comes to you and says, hey, I've changed, I'm not the same person that I was.
Yeah.
Now in a relationship, that doesn't mean you jump back in a relationship with them. I would definitely tell my son and my daughter that, if they were to have broken up with someone and, the person comes back and says, oh, I've changed. Okay, prove it. But that doesn't mean that we jumping back into a relationship.
Or you've changed. That's great. I'm happy for you. And I'm gonna go this way and I want you to go that way.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
But I've had some experiences with some friends that I've had in the past. And I've had some friends that reached out before and said, I know we didn't see eye to eye. I'm not the same person. I would love if we could, become kind of what we were before. And I actually have seen it on both sides where I was like, you know what? This person has changed. And I was able to really connect with this person. And, recently I could really see, I was like, this man is really serious about the change that he says is taking place.
Mm-hmm.
And now, after having that experience with him, I can go out to eat with him. I can do lunch with him.
Yeah.
We can get up. We can get back to the point that we can text each other.
Yeah.
If you invite me to a family event, I can bring my family. Because you don't have to do a whole lot of proving. When somebody has changed and you can tell that they're not the same person that you are, it doesn't take me a very long time to see that it's genuine or you just talking.
Right.
Or sometimes, and I've seen it on this end as well, on the other side as well, where I had a friend that reached out and I didn't really feel like it was genuine. And I didn't see the change. I didn't see where it was a necessary change in them. I saw where it was a change in circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see that and I'm like, you really haven't changed. And see, that was rewarding to me as a man because I've seen where I felt like I was betrayed and then I felt like the person really changed. And I was like, okay, man, we could probably get back to where we were. And then I had another friend on the other side of it where I was like, no, this is just convenient for you right now.
Yeah.
Not saying that we couldn't get back to where we need to get to, but I haven't seen that change. And it's like, I feel like that I should be able to see that change a whole lot easier. I shouldn't have to search and look for it.
Right. No, I understand that for sure.
And man, people just
if someone has changed, you're going to see the change.
Yeah.
Right. I think about it, if you're going biblical, when Saul became Paul, it was a distinct change. He was no longer the same person. He didn't do the same things, right? And so it was different. Like you saw it.
It was
the guy was different. Yeah. It was the same way. If someone comes to you and they saying, "Hey, I've changed," you'll see it.
And like in that example that you just gave, it was that same energy, that same negative energy that he had. When the change took place, that same energy was positive.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I follow you.
So in other words, if you were doing everything you could to tear me down as a fake friend years ago, and I see that same effort of you trying to be a positive friend, to be an asset to me, there's a difference.
Right.
I should see that same energy, that same negative energy that you had before, it should be translated positive now. So if you were going hard on me before negatively, then you should be going hard for me now. So that's kind of how I look at it. But a lot of times, man, and I'll advise my son with this, is to forgive people, man. Forgive people.
You got to.
Forgive people even when they don't ask for forgiveness, man. And if they ask for forgiveness, you definitely give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just see some people now, man, they don't value friendships. And I'm like, we are in our 30s. You should be valuing friendships better than what you do.
Right.
So what are you teaching your kids? You teaching your kids to just go in life alone, without friends, without people that you can relate to? And I constantly tell you guys this. A dad counsel is what you need. Do not underestimate the value of a dad counsel. Man, I went out to eat with some of my high school friends. And it wasn't that I was just trying to stay away or anything like that. It was just, you just get so caught up in raising a family and being a husband, man. It's a lot that comes with it. And if you're trying to do that job the best of your ability, man, sometimes you don't have time for your friends like you do. But I was invited to go out to eat, man, and we had a great time. And when I think about it, I'm just like, man, I needed this.
Right.
I needed them. A lot of them are fathers, and I needed it, man. I needed that strength from them to just be away from the family for a little bit, just to hang out with them and just catch up. And just, when you get to that point and everybody is like, man, we all got the same goal. At the end of the day, you work this job, I work this job, you're doing this business, I'm doing this business. I live on this side of town, you live on that side of town, but at the end of the day, we got the same goal. We're trying to raise the kids the best way we can, and we're trying to survive in this life. And we have to find common ground in that.
Right.
And when we find that common ground, I think it's something that we should cherish and not overlook. And then I was able to spend the weekend with some of my college friends. I mean, it was like some type of realization that I came into this past weekend, because I was able to hang out with my high school friends and I was able to hang out with my college friends for the weekend. It's like, I got with them and I just felt the same way. I was like, man, I'm just so happy for you guys. I'm so happy that you guys are doing well. And I'm like, man, we need each other.
Yeah.
no matter how much you get caught up in life or whatever, we need to take time and spend a little time with each other, because we need each other, man. Yeah. We help each other get through.
Yeah.
And I thank God for that, man. I thank God to be able
it's a beautiful
to
thing.
And hang out with guys and be able to connect with them. You can't just be entangled just with your family and that's it. And this is coming from somebody that's what I did. I'm taking care of my family. I'm working. I'm taking care of my family. I'm working, taking care of my family.
Yeah.
But you got to break away sometimes. I'm not saying it's got to be every night. I'm not saying it's got to be every weekend, but you need to break away and go find some guys that's like-minded.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about going out here just being foolish. I'm not telling you go out here and live for the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I went away for the weekend and we positive, man. That's all I'm gonna say. We positive. We have a good time, but it's nothing crazy.
And ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. We talked about it before on the pod. Sometimes you gotta have some me time. Sometimes you gotta, take a step back and stop and smell the roses a little bit, and have some bonding time with the fellas. Nothing wrong with that at all.
But people do change, man. They change. They change for the good, and I've seen that. And I'm starting to see that some people change for the bad. And when you see that, you gotta let them go, man. Because you can't constantly be pouring into a friendship and they're not doing the same.
That's right. Someone's hurting you, you gotta, dismiss yourself from that situation. Definitely. Only a fool can continue to stick around in that situation. So
yeah. I agree. You got anything else?
I don't, bro.
All right, man. Well, we thank you guys for listening to the Dad Roots podcast. We ask that you like, comment, subscribe, share. Hey, become a subscriber to the channel, guys. We want to get this conversation out. We want people to hear this content. We're trying to do this for you. Dads don't have a voice out here, and we want to be that voice. Okay? And we got Mario and E and Kid. We are signing out.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Dad Rules podcast with your host, Mario E and Kid. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, follow and like us on Facebook and Instagram. You can find our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Breaker, and Player FM. Till next time.